What's going on, folks? So the band Cold Slither has released a new single here called Knock 'em Dread, and I'm very curious about this one because I previously reacted to their first single, Cold Slither, and it was more of just kind of a updated version of the original song that appeared way back in that old GI Joe episode. Yes, it's the fictional band from that GI Joe classic GI Joe episode, but brought to life now. And there's going to be an album and all that good stuff. But whereas the first single was just kind of an updated version of the song that made it so cult classic or whatnot. But this is actually an original song. So I'm very, very curious to hear how they're going to be making like original music for this fictional band, now a real life band. I mean, without further ado, let's give it a listen and find out. Rangers, go.
G.I. Joe is here, I tell you. I can feel them. Then let's bash on the face. Swipe not to save the CIA and get out of here. Flashing and fighting, running hard to stay alive. We will find you, dread not for life. Lizards gone, what's the world run? There's no escaping with your head. Treading hard to close one. We are here to knock on dread. Heat it up to the boiling point. Hear the legend thunder. We dread not, can be like rain and thunder. Throwing down with never say. Lizards gone, what's the world run? There's no escaping with your head. Treading hard to cornerstone. We are here to knock on dread. Are you free for now release? There's a bounty on your head. Evil one who does not swarm. We are here to knock on dread.
One thing that's pretty cool is just the personality kind of involved and really paying tribute to the GI Joe and the theme of the band and all that good stuff. I like the voiceovers and the extra little sound effects and stuff like that was really cool. It's kind of nostalgic or really kind of takes you back to like the classic like 80s cartoons and things like that. So that helps a lot. But, at the end of the day, I feel like it's almost over reliant on that kind of like just nostalgia or just just relying on the theme alone and things like that, because the song, and again, I was curious to see what they would do with an original song, one that wasn't just made for a cartoon back in the 80s. And this song also, it's just a little bit simplistic. I know that they're trying to like stay in line with kind of what was established with that first song, because it's all built upon that original song from back then and whatnot. But it just feels like for this project or whatever to really kind of become something more, it just needs a little bit more infused into it. Now, I'm not saying like make it like modern sounding or anything. Like you can keep it sounding like super 80s, which was one thing I did like about this song, like the guitar riff, the kind of chugging sort of nature, like a nice kind of heavy metal sort of vibe, which I thought was neat because the first song it's a little bit more of like a hard rock sort of thing, and I was wondering if this would kind of follow suit, but there was a little bit more of like a heavy metal kind of vibe to it, which I certainly enjoyed. Like I said, I like the guitar riff. It's just kind of chugging along. It's got a nice energy, a nice momentum to it. The solos and stuff were cool, but at the end of the day, it still just feels rather simple, and it just doesn't quite jump out. Like, if I didn't know anything about this being this G.I. Joe project and all that stuff, and like seeing the artwork and the characters and all that, if I just like heard this song, I'd be like, it's all right, but like it just doesn't pop. And I feel like, again, for this to really be everything that it can be, it can't rely so much on strictly just the theme. That the songs need to stand on their own, and just the songs themselves just need to really kind of engage. And the music isn't too bad. Like I said, I like the guitar riffs. I like the vibe of the song and everything. A song can be simple and still be awesome. Like, I'm not one of those people who it's like, oh, if there's no complexities or anything like that, it's no good. No, I mean, there are so many songs I like that are incredibly simple, but it has something about it that really just stands out, and it's awesome. Like, again, just because it's simple doesn't necessarily mean it's not great, but in this case, it just feels like it's not reaching the potential. And what I think is like the biggest thing that kind of holds it back are the vocals. Now, there's nothing wrong with the vocals, like, per se. It's just that I would like more from the vocals. Like maybe in the verses or whatnot, kind of have that mellow, sort of low-key kind of delivery and stuff. But then, liven it up in the chorus. It almost just sounds like the vocalist is just kind of there. Ba 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 ba. Like there's no energy there. There's just none. The vocal melodies, I feel like they could be a little bit more diverse, just because the music itself is pretty straightforward. So I do think a little bit more diversity in the vocal melodies themselves could help. But even without that, like just the energy, I mean, I just really feel like, the vocals, like in certain spots, should just really, be powering through the song and not just feel like it's just kind of very, like a mellow kind of just very static sort of but like it just almost like talk singing, it seems like. So yeah, I think even just doing something with that, with the vocals, like just giving it a bit more oomph, just make it sound like the vocalist is like into the song, and because there is some energy in the music, but there's none in the vocals. So yeah, I mean, if I was just to pick one thing, I would say that that would really help the song a bit if there's a bit more energy, maybe a little bit more range, just really get into it, really get into that like hard rock kind of heavy metal approach. Because it just the song itself, like right in the beginning, I was kind of amped. I was like, cool, this is a nice chugging riff. I kind of dig it. I like the artwork, the sound effects. Again, the voiceovers with the characters and stuff was cool. But then, like when the vocals are there and stuff, and then even like in the chorus, and the chorus is kind of catchy. I like how the lyrics are kind of arranged, and there's like nice little hook kind of stuff in there, like the "Knock 'em Dread." Like it's kind of memorable, and you almost want to sing along. But again, like not when it's just "ba na ba" and "Knock 'em Dread." Like there's just nothing behind it, nothing. So, I just would really like it if the vocals really kind of reached out and grabbed the listener and really encouraged you to throw your fists in the air and get pumped. But there's none of that there. So, yeah, ultimately that's my thoughts here. It's not bad, but again, it just at the end of the day, it's a bit underwhelming and just a little bit too simple with nothing really going for it beyond like the theme. So really would like these songs to kind of stand on their own and not be as overly reliant on strictly the theme and what have you, because I really think there could be something special here, but it just needs more. It just needs more. So that's my thoughts. I know there's like an album I think they're working on, and it's a really cool like partnership between Reigning Phoenix Music and Hasbro to bring the band to life and tie in with like the G.I. Joe property and all of that cool stuff. So there's just such cool potential here. But if they keep on this track, I just feel like it's just gonna fizzle out after the initial like, whoa, what a cool thing. There's just no lasting power. So it's kind of unfortunate, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. But anywho, let me know, folks, in the comments down below. What do you think of this song here? Let's talk about it. I'll catch you next time. Ranger. Out.